So, why do people hate on Caleb Williams? What's up, everybody? This is the Chicago Sports Talk, Michael. Um, so if y'all haven't noticed, I'm not doing the Bears and Bills game, even though the starters will be playing. I do want to mention the Caleb Williams talk is really getting out of proportion, or I should say, really get out of hand. It's gotten to the point where uh Bears content creators are talking about it, and I have to say this. What is the main course? Well, nobody criticizes Drake May, nobody criticizes Jaden Daniels, nobody criticizes Bo Nix. They hardly ever criticize JJ McCarthy. It's all towards Caleb Williams. And there is one particular reason why it is surrounded, why Caleb Williams is getting the more heat. It's because of the simple fact that the article that came out, which I completely forgot about, apparently everybody keeps bringing it up about how, oh, Caleb didn't want to come to Chicago, yada yada, he's a diva, yada yada. Listen, at the end of the day, Caleb and his dad had every right to want to manipulate. I even said Caleb had question marks about coming to Chicago, and it was like, no, he wants to be there. No, I'll be the first one to say that I had Caleb. I said Caleb didn't want to be a Bear. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Caleb and his dad wanted to test the waters before he obviously, as Caleb had every right to not want to play for the Bears. Why would he want to play for the Bears? Bears haven't had a quarterback since, I don't know, I don't even think their last good quarterback was Jay Cutler. So of course Caleb doesn't want to play for an organization that their best quarterback wasn't even drafted by them. So we gotta look at it from a pure perspective and say, maybe Caleb is not that crazy. But we all have to remember one thing. What happened in that draft process did not matter, because at the end of the day, Caleb embraced being a Chicago Bear. Now, the only thing Caleb wanted, he even said, the only thing that I don't want to cause is, because if Caleb Williams came out and said, I don't want to play, do you want to know what the media is going to label him? They're going to label him a diva. That was the only route that Caleb. So it was either go on and say, I don't want to play for the Bears, or you might as well just stick it. Now, I don't understand this it's attack on Caleb every time. I don't know why, but we Bears, I'm not going to say what Bears fans should do. Obviously, Bears fans have a right to their opinion. Obviously, we all know the one that's cult that leads the cult of, bashing Caleb and wanting to praise Tyson Bagent. We all know that, but at the end of the day, Caleb is still starting week 1. And regardless, and people was like, oh, the Bears should have taken the Hall. And listen, the Bears, even if they didn't take Caleb Williams, and they got in Jaden Daniels or Michael Penix or Drake May, do you really think the Bears would have been in any different position had they went a different route? Yeah, the offensive line would have been, because obviously if you look at it from a fan perspective, you get a quarterback like Daniels, you get draft capital for offensive line, yada yada. But at the end of the day, you need a quarterback to win games. Caleb Williams has shown that he could be the guy if he has the right coaching staff. The Bears were in a lot of one-score games last year. A lot of the Bears could have won so many games last year if it wasn't for the head coach. Like, let's take it as an example. The Jaden Daniels Hail Mary, that was due to coaching. Of Yes, Caleb literally led the comeback drive touchdown. But what did the defense do? They folded. They literally folded. They allowed Jaden Daniels to get a lucky Hail Mary. The Packers, Caleb Williams literally drove them down the field. Cairo Santos' kick was blocked. Now, if you go to the Vikings, yes, you can make a case Caleb should have taken the check down to DeAndre Swift instead of taking the sack, but how many third and longs did the Bears defense allow in overtime? Third and, I think, 4, 5, maybe somebody correct me. That was on the defense. Eberflus. The Lions game. Close game again. Caleb Williams drives the team down, but what does his head coach do? Not call a timeout. And then people want to you're putting that on a fucking rookie. The hell's wrong with you? You really think a rookie knows what to do in this situation? That's on your head coach, dog. That's on your head coach to call a timeout when your quarterback gets sacked. That's on your head coach. No ifs, ands, or buts. That is on your head coach. What else? They're dumbasses want to flip the narrative and say it's all on Caleb, but at the end of the day, Caleb is literally was a rookie quarterback and thrust into a lame duck. And honestly, that's more on Ryan Poles, and I'll be the first one to say this. Ryan Poles did a horrible, horrible, horrible job of drafting Caleb and putting him in the situation. Honestly, Poles should be consider himself lucky that he didn't get fired, because what he did to Caleb is a fireable offense. Because the way they treated him, I would... and plus, people forget. And let me ask you a question, folks. Do you really think it would have been different if the Bears would have taken the Hall and drafted Daniels or Drake May or Bo Nix or Michael Penix? At the end of the day, all the quarterbacks... Now, if you go to a guy like Drake May, his team had a terrible record, but he still showed some promise. A guy like Daniels, who has a very good coaching staff and a good offensive line, do you really think he produces what he did in Washington? No, he would literally get killed behind this offensive line. Or a guy like Bo Nix, who literally has Sean Payton, who literally has a Super Bowl resume. And plus, people forget Michael Penix is still raw. Could he show potential? Yes. He did. He sat behind Kirk Cousins for 6, 7, 8 games. Then Kirk got injured, and then he shows promise. Michael Penix is still a question mark. At the end of the day, and J.J. McCarthy, we don't even know what J.J. McCarthy really is. So, again, we got to look at it from a perspective. Caleb Williams should be the best quarterback out of this class. It all depends on how the Bears are. Some people say he's just another Mitch Trubisky that will leave when his contract is up. Some people say that he might just be Dan Marino. Some people say he might just be Drew Brees when he was on the... I believe I think they were called San Diego at the time before they moved to Los Angeles. At the end of the day, whatever Caleb does is on the Bears. Now, Caleb doesn't leave the Bears when his contract is up. But at the end of the day, we Bears fans have to look at it from a perspective of, and yes, do I think Colin's a clown? Yes. Colin's been a clown for a long time. Or if you look at a guy like Dan Orlovsky, no, that's I don't know how that's how you say his name, but if you look at it from their listen, at the end of the day, people it just might be for clicks, but the main common denominator is the article that came out that Caleb didn't want to play for the Bears, and rightfully so. Who blames him? I don't blame him. I would actually applaud him for doing that because I wouldn't want to go to the Bears. Given their history, fuck that. He got me fucked up if I ever want to be, quarterback for an organization that's never had a quarterback. But Caleb wanted to make sure. That's his right. But at the end of the day, people just don't like it because of the article. It's not because he paints his fingernails. People forget Cam Newton did that. Obviously, people that criticized Caleb for painting his nails were quiet as fuck when Cam Newton were dressed up as a diva. But at the end of the day, he's still the starting quarterback no matter how many times people bitch and moan on the internet because that's all what people do. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm just ready for week 1. But this has been Yosh Boys, Chicago's. I'll be watching the game tomorrow, and I'll be giving you an update about how Caleb did. So, thank you.